$1.2 trillion. That's how much money has rotated out of the US dollar in just 3 years. And where's it all going? Well, gold purchases just hit $80 billion annually, the fastest pace ever. Bitcoin ETFs pulled $50 billion in just 18 months. And this isn't retail investors just making a shift. This is central banks, governments, and pension funds hedging against the system. And here's what they know that you don't. In 2001, 70% of the world's reserves sat in US dollars. Today, it's under 58%. That $1 trillion gap didn't just disappear. It's moving into other areas like gold and Bitcoin. So, if governments are hedging against the dollar, should we be doing the same? A lot of articles and personalities talk about a dollar decline. But what are investors like us to do with that information? Now, before diving in, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, 21 Shares. In today's video, I'm going to cover why the dollar is losing ground and what's really behind it. Then I'll show you where the money is flowing instead. And most importantly, how can we position our portfolios around this type of shift? Because this is not about the dollar crashing overnight. This is about steady erosion happening over time. The world's central banks hold a $12.8 trillion reserve base. That's the pile of foreign currency and the assets that they keep in these vaults. More than $1 trillion has already rotated away from the dollar. Japan still holds over $1 trillion in US treasuries, but even they have been trimming back as trade disputes turn their exposure political. China has also cut its stake in US bonds down to the lowest level since 2009. At the same time, BRICS nations are setting up alternatives: rubles and dirhams for oil, yuan settlement pilots, and local currency lending through their development bank. In fact, there's also been news around countries that are using a barter system just to bypass sanctions and the US dollar. None of these actions are going to replace the dollar quite yet, but each new system is slowly chipping away at the US dollar dominance. And this form of hedging response, it's growing louder. Central banks have been buying gold at the fastest pace in modern history. US pensions, like the Michigan's retirement system, have already started filing for Bitcoin ETF exposure. And the reason that they can do that is the rise of registered products. And this is where 21 Shares fits in. They launched the first crypto ETP, or exchange traded product, back in 2018, building the infrastructure that really made mainstream crypto investing even possible. Put it all together, and the map is pretty clear. Global central bank reserves are shrinking by the trillions. Foreign sellers are stepping back from the US treasuries. Rivals are building new systems to completely bypass the dollar. And gold and Bitcoin are stepping up as insurance outside of the dollar system. It really just boils down to 3 events over the past 3 years that really accelerated the pace of hedging against the reliance on the US dollar. First, we've got sanctions. When Russia was cut out of the dollar system back in 2022, other governments saw the risk. If these reserves can be frozen, dollars aren't neutral. That pushed diversification faster than anyone expected. Second is gold. Since then, central banks have been buying close to $80 billion a year, and like I said, that's the fastest pace in modern history. Gold is the oldest hedge because it sits completely outside of the dollar system. No government can simply print more of it, and no sanctions can block it. Third, crypto access. In 2024, US regulators finally approved Bitcoin ETFs. In the first week, they pulled in nearly $14 billion. By mid-2025, inflows had passed $50 billion. Ether ETFs followed with more than $1 billion in just a single day. And crypto is a completely different kind of hedge. It's digital, it's scarce, and it's completely outside the reach of central banks. And here's the inflection point. It comes down to access. This isn't about niche exchanges anymore. The infrastructure was already built. Firms like 21 Shares had been running crypto ETPs in Europe since 2018. So when the SEC just flipped the switch, ARK, the investment firm run by Cathie Wood, and 21 Shares were ready to take action. That's why pensions could invest immediately, and wirehouses could turn it on for clients almost overnight. Now, let me just pause here for a second, because this is exactly where 21 Shares fits into the story. Crypto isn't the outsider hedge anymore. For years, gold was the way to step outside of the dollar system. Safe, but slow. But crypto is the complete opposite. It's liquid, it's borderless, and it's built for a digital economy. In the past, the problem was never the asset, It was the access, requiring complicated digital wallets, exchanges, the custody risk, and that kept serious money on the sidelines. There were just too many barriers for entry, and this is where companies like 21 Shares solved the problem. They didn't just launch the first crypto ETP back in 2018, they built it with the same standards that investors expected from traditional finance. Today, they've packaged the exposure so it lives in the same account as your index funds, at costs that look like a modern ETF. And the leadership is seasoned, where you have Russell Barlow as the CEO, you have Duncan Moore as president, and BlackRock iShares talent on the US bench. They've made transparency a feature, integrating chain-link proof of reserve so backing is auditable on-chain, not just marketing. Because at the end of the day, they actually have skin in the game. Now let's move on to the numbers that actually matter to a portfolio. Over the last 12 months, Bitcoin is up over 49%. Gold is up over 43.8%, all while S&P 500 total return is around 18%. It's the exact same window and it's a very clean comparison. That's what happens when an alternative goes from a fringe item with a lot of barriers to entry to becoming registered, liquid vehicle that you can size and rebalance when you need to. And that's the whole point. Crypto has completely grown up with these ETFs because they're now packaged, they're easily accessible, they're cost efficient, and they're now pretty transparent, where some investors allocated into these ETFs where it can easily sit right next to their S&P 500 index in the same brokerage account. There's nothing new to set up, and that's why some find it so attractive for their pensions and most definitely for retail investors. And it's not just the products maturing. The global money flows are confirming this shift. The dollar's share of global reserves slipped again in Q1 of 2025, down to 57.7% from 58% the quarter before. On a $12.8 trillion base, the money that foreign central banks have in their vaults, or even a fraction of a percent, means tens of billions of dollars moving away from the US dollar. China's US Treasury holdings tell the same story. They're down to about $782 billion. That happens to be the lowest in over a decade, off nearly $400 billion from their peak. And the selling hasn't been just simply a one-off. This has been pretty steady, and it's been month after month. At this rate, China will have walked away from US Treasuries in about 10 years. Meanwhile, the purchase of gold hasn't slowed one bit. In 2024, Turkey, China, and Poland led these types of purchases, pushing demand past 1,000 tons for the second year in a row. That's nearly $80 billion annually. Once again, that's not just a one-off. That's reallocating reserves away from the US dollar. And the crypto flows are just as clear. When US spot Bitcoin ETFs launched in January of 2024, 13.9 billion traded in just 1 week. By mid-2025, net inflows had crossed $50 billion. This year alone, the first 3 weeks saw $4.4 billion in net inflows. That's up 175% year over year. And as I mentioned earlier, Ether ETFs followed with more than $1 billion in a single day. If you put this all together, and the motion is really hard to ignore, central banks, governments, pensions, and everyday investors are all diversifying out of the US dollar. And because firms like 21 Shares helped build out the roadmap years ago, it's happening inside mainstream brokerage accounts. It's not just fringe areas anymore. So the proof is in the flows. The only question now is, how do we respond as investors? Now, the way that I look at it, this isn't about betting against the dollar. It's about not leaving your portfolio exposed while the erosion is happening. Gold is still a neutral hedge. It's outside of politics. It's outside printing. And then crypto follows a very similar playbook, but with ETFs. It sits right next to your index funds, and there's nothing new to set up. The erosion of the dollar seems more likely than not. I see these ETFs and assets as simply added insurance. It's not speculation. The performance, of course, speaks for itself. But once again, it's never a guarantee. If reserves rotate faster or Treasury selling begins to accelerate, that's when you lean in heavier. Gold usually responds first, and crypto then follows. And now you've got liquid vehicles like Bitcoin ETFs to size and rebalance along the way. Most investors just stop at the headline. The dollar is down, buy gold. But the real edge is having a flexible playbook. Watch the reserves, ETF inflows, and the Treasury auctions. That tells you when to shift your weight. Here's my Cliff Note takeaway. Hedging the dollar, it's not about betting on collapse. It's about making sure that your portfolio can hold assets outside of the system. And today, that toolkit is wider than it's ever been. As always, thanks so much for watching.